So yeah, thanks man for sharing it with us a little bit about your story.
Yeah,
We wanted to jump in, so now tell us a little bit about your life now. So like what you're doing at the moment. I know we kind of touched a little bit on it, what you're doing work study wise, you know, what you're doing here at church and what you're going to be doing, you know, this year and over the next, you know, year or so.
Yeah, well, I kind of got a few decisions to make, and kind of keeping my eyes out for opportunities to do different things. One thing that's kind of coming up on the horizon is, and this was really set in stone at TNS, is that I need to like do some further study in the Bible, and like really go deep on that, and know it really well. And I feel like a kind of responsibility, perhaps a calling to do that. For so many reasons, but I just really feel like I have to do that. So I want to learn Greek and Hebrew as well.
Wow.
But if that's what happens, that's what happens. I don't want to like make too many calls and then 5 years later, hey, wait, you saying that podcast?
Yeah.
But no, like the Lord's definitely working in my heart, and I'm trying to figure out like what my kind of role is in let's say in the body of Christ, basically, like what I'm supposed to be working on, where I'm supposed to go. And I think in my kind of journey with the Lord, I'm so young with that that it's gonna take kind of a minute for me to really see
your plan.
But what I do know is I need to study.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. but like I love learning, but I like no, I don't like reading though. I don't like reading.
It's hard.
No, it is. Well, like literally, like the other day, I sat down to do some Bible reading, and like in 2 hours, I've read like 6 chapters.
Yeah, true.
I'm not even kidding. Literally 6 chapters. I mean, I was going slow and like looking up a bunch of words and whatever. Still, but
once you start looking up like what words mean. Bro, one verse will take you like half an hour.
Dude.
That's funny, yeah.
It's Hebrew
so
as well. Like,
at the moment you're doing you're studying music in uni.
Yeah.
One question that I actually Greg wrote out some great questions that we wanted to ask you. But one question I really wanted to jump in and just ask you right now was, where do you think essentially like or what part does music play in the world today, and what part does it play in an individual?
Yeah, well, like, ask me a hard question, why don't you? What role does music play in all the world as well as in the heart of every individual?
It was a hard. I thought you were saying this is an easy question. I should have asked you a hard question. I was doing. We were doing our best.
I'm being sarcastic, bro. That's a ripper of a question. So you said, what role does it play in the world, just generally?
We'll come back after an intermission.
So not necessarily in a Christian context, just in the world.
So in the world and also in a Christian. I mean, obviously they are going to be broken up, but probably looking at it through the lens of a Christian.
Well, I think one of the things about, I've kind of got to start with this. One of the things about worship is that it's a natural occurrence from a heart situation. So I think music is kind of just a natural production of the human spirit. And how that manifests is just what you see. It is just like what's going on inside them. You know, coming out.
Yeah, I agree.
That's not. This is I kind of think. What's that?
Because when I sing, obviously nothing good's going on inside my heart. If that's what comes out. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Like it's not like everyone's like not everyone's a composer. I'm not uni, bro, and I'm not Beethoven.
Not yet.
That kind of begs the question, like, what about music that's like clearly like calculated and like that considered and not based from the heart, but more like marketed and designed by like record companies and stuff. Well, most musicians listen to that kind of thing and just go, "Well, this is crap."
Right.
You know what I mean? And I would say honestly that stuff, much of the like stuff that's so manipulated and distorted by record companies, I think a better word for that is propaganda than music.
Sure.
I think it's just like false art. I think genuine art, music or otherwise, is just like an accurate representation of what's going on with this person.
Inside. Going on inside.
Yeah, good took me a few tries, but yeah. So I think that's kind of like what it is. Apart from like actually like sound and whatever, but yeah, that's kind of just like art. So what role does music play? I just didn't answer your question. I guess so. It's
Great politician, right? Yeah. Have a couple of things to say, but just kind of slide around. Don't worry about the original question.
Yeah. No, so what role does it play? Well, I guess I said that first because it's like, well, it doesn't. I don't think it comes out because of a role that it serves.
Right.
Like the farming industry doesn't just happen from people. It happens because we need to do that.
Yeah, understood.
I think if humanity could avoid doing that, like probably it'd be very few farmers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not that like people don't find joy in that or anything like, but
it's a lot of hard work.
It's a lot of hard work. And I think we tend to be idle if we can.
Yeah,
it's true.
But so what role does music serve? I think it is a way of kind of like embracing what our heart situation is, and so that's why you see all people. That's why you see people who go to a concert. Generally, they kind of seem like often maybe the same sort of group of people. I went to Knotfest a few weeks ago, and like,
so what was it?
Knotfest.
Oh,
so
yeah.
this is and I don't recommend that. I don't advocate like heavy metal kind of music anymore. I have a lot of respect for those musicians in terms of the skill and like what they do. And, like a lot of those guys are really talented, but a lot of that music's very demonic in a sense. But anyhow, so I'm there. Like every second person you see has like dyed black hair and a face tattoo.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's because like I think it's shallow to say that that's because like of the culture around it. Just like people do it for fun. I think it's more about like what's going on. So I think people get tattoos because that's what's going on.
Yeah.
So music's the same. It's like people might go to a Slipknot concert and enjoy that music because maybe they're having a hard go of it and they feel that like they need some kind of catharsis. And because a lot of the music's like so full of rage. And it is, and that see I don't think I think Slipknot is like it's genuine music because I think it's like an honest thing, and I think it's in a sense it's good music,
right?
Because of that, it's like this is true. This is really skillfully made. This is like really effectively portrays these kind of like emotions and heart positions.
Sure.
Kind of on the word good though, it's like. Is that where your heart should be, and is these things that you're kind of you find yourself worshipping when you say lyrics that actually I'm not even going to repeat. Are those the right things to be worshipping? No. I'm not actually just picking on Slipknot or anything like that. Again, a lot of respect for the musicians and all that, but I think spiritually it's not the ideal state of music. But that's. Anyways, does that?
It kind of answers the question, as in so essentially what you're saying is music is essentially an outflow, basically of, or essentially can be emotions or like strictly speaking. From Christ, right? As in, if we're talking from a Christian sense, right? As you said right at the start, which was really good how you did start off and kind of open it up. So, like, explained a couple of things. It's kind of essentially a coming out from us of, God's working in us, basically. And talking about Christian music and singing and that kind of thing. Where do you... sorry, my next question was, or my question along that line was, how do you do, like, does music play? Sorry, let me reword it.
Yeah.
What like amount or what impact does music have in general, like as a whole across the world? Like how much of a play in, for example, culture of, you know, it might even be, you know, certain rap songs about, you know, certain ideas and stuff that are now starting to, you know, be promoted, right? Or it might be, you know, just as you just mentioned, it's certain the people that go to it. There's a certain culture, but there's also just like the way that people are feeling. How much of an impact in how people are feeling do you think music has?
Well, I think again, like I'm 21 and I'm in second year now, so I'm more than qualified to tell you everything about how music affects people on deepest parts of their soul, as well as how it affects us on a societal level. So, because I'm so
just your thoughts.
Just my thoughts.
Just your thoughts.
Well, I guess I could just go like to personal experience and say, music certainly hasn't. It's not just inward out.
Yeah,
it certainly
okay,
comes in.
Yeah.
Which is why I think it's really important to monitor the kind of music you're listening to and not put on things that are kind of demonically derived, which I think is a real thing.
Yeah.
Of course, and something that particularly Christians need to be very careful of.
Right. So it can put you in a certain
Yeah,
state. Essentially.
and even just in a kind of like secular sense, just talking like emotionally, I think music can put you off, and put you in a hopeless state, and kind of romanticize those kinds of things. Right. And we see so much music that's about like most songs are about heartbreak.
Yeah.
Like it's not about salvation.
No.
It's not about love. It's about losing. I think, you know, listening to 3 hours of heartbreak music every day can't be spiritually that good for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you're constantly like getting those kind of emotions that tend to be quite addictive out of the very kind of sad frame of mind, and I don't think that's like of course everyone at various points in their life will visit the feeling of heartbreak or be visited by it, but I don't think that's somewhere for us to dwell. But like there's nothing wrong with, you know, being sad or being heartbroken or grieving even.
Yeah.
Jesus wept. But I think because music can come in to you, and lyrics will certainly like target a particular place in your heart. They kind of I think what lyrics kind of do is they like take all the weight of this emotion and they point it in a place. And when we feel like the lyrics and the kind of emotional content of the music aren't matching, it has a really kind of hilarious effect where we just laugh.
That's true.
Like you just, there's so many ways you can do that and just make people laugh. We just like say something like really light and happy and just play it. like with some like or like Beethoven symphony chords or something like that.
Yeah. But I've got a question. In just sort of in lines with that, what are your thoughts on like artists in like say hip hop like selling their soul? I haven't have you heard much about that? Like
there's just people who just like make what the record company tells them to.
Well, I don't understand what it is, because I hear like so and so sold their soul and that's why they have so many like views, for example, kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know enough about like that to really like to have much to say, but I mean I know that there is a thing. I'm not gonna name any names, but like I know about like some celebrities that have like had some really bad experiences because they've just been either like they've signed a thing with a record company when they were 17 and didn't really know what it meant.
Yeah.
But it meant that until they were 27,
right,
they had
so
to be writing songs that the record company liked and putting out an album every year and going on tour and meeting up because they signed a contract.
Yeah. So they're talking about contracts? Is that what...
Oh, selling the soul.
I thought it's
not a spiritual thing.
It's not.
Okay.
I thought it was.
It's a metaphor.
Because I just see a lot of these rappers like that will say I've sold my soul, and they just all of a sudden just look very demonic. Like they'll have demonic tattoos and stuff. Like it'll just happen like overnight kind of thing. Like I don't know. I thought it might maybe do something with that.
Are we talking about like when they actually have the saying about they sold their soul to the devil, or are you
Yeah, I
talking
don't know.
about when they're just like signed with a record company?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
You were coming from like
at all.
because I've seen that as well. Like you do sometimes see like certain people have
I don't think we have the ownership of our souls to say that we can sell it.
Okay. Yeah.
I think only God can choose to let us go or not.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Well, that's so for an unsaved person, it's essentially like, I mean, they're already unsaved, so they're already not saved. Like they already don't have Christ. The Holy Spirit dwelling in them already.
Yeah, but you can't like sign a record company deal and turn yourself into a reprobate. I don't think that's a thing.
Right.
That's a thing.
That's good.
But no, that's sorry to think about like how people who just have like really wild dreams of music and like might have made a little bit of a name for themselves and gotten some notoriety before they get super famous. Just all of it gets sucked into this like one record deal. There's a big push for kind of like independence in artists in the kind of musical world and kind of just like because we have the internet now as well. Like it's not that crazy to sort of become a bit business savvy about it yourself as a musician.
Yeah.
And like record companies are just going out of business worldwide. I know that. And they're not happy about it. Because all they are is like they don't have anything to do with the like creation of the music except for when they like except for when they like manipulate it. As far as I'm concerned, turn it into like the production of a calculator rather than genuine art. So they're just making music worse and like taking most of the artist's money. And it sells.
Good point.
We might have to get into a record company.
That's it. Oh god.
No, I'm kidding.
Another question for you, Ben. What are your thoughts in relation to what's the key takeaway that you have that you can give to the audience, just in life in general?
Sweet. While he's thinking about that, guys, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Again, make sure you like up that recent episode with Nathan. We need to get that trick shot video, guys. And if we can get it to 50 likes, alright, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to push Greg onto that trick shot video. I reckon he might make an appearance on there too. So guys, get those likes up and also go ahead and subscribe. I've seen the people I've seen the views on it, but I've seen the people that are subscribed. There's not enough people that have viewed it that have subscribed. Go ahead, guys, hit that subscribe button.
Hit that button.
We got you.
That's it.
I don't think there's any wisdom that comes from me, but I think greatest piece of wisdom or thing that I've ever heard is love the Lord thy God with all their heart, soul, mind and strength, and love thy neighbour as thyself. So let's go with that.
Yeah, that's good.
It's very true. And that would bring an outworking of essentially Christ. I mean, that will transform your life, really.
Well, I think if you try to do that and you don't know Christ, you'll find him. And I think there's so many people that hear something like that that don't know him and don't understand that there is a God. But for people like that, what they need to kind of understand is if and when, frankly, at points they find themselves not understanding what their reason to be here is. That reason is waiting to reveal itself. He is waiting to reveal himself to you.
I really liked how you made that point, because it's something that's, I believe, so true in that if you seek him, you'll find him if you search for him with all your heart, essentially. And I think it's something a lot of people go and they kind of half look for God, or they kind of half go, I'm trying to figure out what's the truth, but they don't totally commit to it. And it brings you to Christ when you totally
100%.
commit to that seeking the truth. That verse in John, which is you'll know the truth and the truth will set you free.
Totally.
Such a good point.
I really think that if you follow the truth or the way, you will find Jesus. I mean, look at my story. So the first thing that turned me away from God was struggling and wrestling with hell. And actually, just to put a cap on that story, really, I think the last thing that I had to wrestle with, even after I had confessed, Jesus is God, he is my Lord and Savior. Even after that, I was still going, I don't really like the idea of hell though. I knew it was true, but I couldn't say, yeah, no, it's true. I couldn't say that because it was like, I don't want this to be true. But ultimately, that actually had to be the very last step that I took when I came back to faith. It was the first thing that went away and had to be. So the point is, like, the motivation for searching the truth was based on a very emotional thing, and I think if people really look in their hearts for answers why they're not finding God, it's because they have some generally quite emotionally motivated idea in their head of why the world shouldn't be how it is, or of why it's been created in a way that is wrong. But actually, who are we to say that? And that's a whole conversation for itself.
You got any more questions for Ben, mate?
I guess just to any other atheists out there, what would your advice be to them, mate, in the sense of searching for God? If they're hardened or they don't really know what to think, like, can you give them some hope and something?
Well, I would say that instinct in you, that says there surely has to be a point to this. Follow that, and hold on to that because it is true by faith, and this will lead you, and hopefully lead you far enough to find Christ. Because there is a point to this. We are truly created for a reason, and there is a way that you should be living, and we all know that none of us are doing that well, and the reason that we're all here is because there is a God and he wants to know you. And if there is a reason that you don't want to believe him, or if there is a thing that you don't understand about what people say when they say they believe in him, those questions can be answered. And specifically on, like, if there's a thing you don't want to believe about him, what you want has nothing to do with what's true.
That's true.
And often, what we want to be true is if we want something to be true, it's often a good indicator that it's not.
Yeah, true. Good point.
That's actually very true. In my own life, like, yeah, right.
I've definitely learned that in my life. But yeah, so I think that's the best advice I can give on that.
That's good, man. That's good advice.
That's awesome, man. Thanks so much for coming on the podcast, mate.
Cheers, bro.
Loved it, and it's been good.
Great chat.
Good, just getting the facts and getting some bit about atheism and especially music across. So no, it's been awesome, man. Appreciate you coming on. Good stuff, guys. Again, go ahead, give us that like from last time's episode. We gotta get that trick shot video, all right? And also, guys, that's all for today. But we'll catch you on the next one. It's Greg and Andy Unleashed.
Catch you later.